Well, welcome to another edition of GW Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we typically don't talk about, but probably should. And I want you to think about yourself right now, wherever you may be, whether it's at work, gym, going for a walk. I'm shouting out today being the day before Anzac Day, so think of our Anzacs out there, and obviously hoping you can get to a service there and think about all the wonderful things that the Anzacs did for us, for our freedom. But, imagine even now for yourself, living in a time or a place where you're frustrated and you're annoyed and you're not getting ahead, and you know you've got the potential to do something. You know you've got the skill set, and even though you know that, sometimes it stops us from moving forward, and that can make us feel frustrated, stuck in a rut. We'll do it tomorrow. We put it off. We procrastinate. How do we change that? Because if we don't start moving and doing things differently, we get the same result and we stay where we are. And that's not rocket science, but it's similar. You see people every day who have the potential to do things, great things for other people, which in turn helps them and their family, or gives them some kind of, I guess, real feel good and purpose. But it doesn't happen because they keep putting it off, knowing they can do it, but they don't. So what changes? So we're talking about leadership and purpose, season 4, episode 4. And there's 3 things I'd like you to think about for yourself. Again, this podcast is for you to challenge your thoughts. Again, these are only my ideas. So here's number 1. How do you work with people? Do you work with people, or do you try and be the magic? Because if you're trying to be the magic, no one's going to go past you in your thoughts, on your mind, and therefore your business, your company, maybe even the way your family work will not improve. So we want to work with people and make people even better than ourselves, so that the company or the organisation or the family we're working with hums along without us even having to put much work in, if that makes sense. So we've got to be the guide. We've got to be the guide, not the magic, in work, in our relationships. That is pure leadership. Be the guide. Every single story, there's a guide, there's a hero, there's a victim or a villain. All right, we want to be the guide. We want to make our employees, we want to make our family members the hero by guiding them. And if we can do that and we work with people, chances are we're going to improve our leadership in those areas. Number 2, how about be determined with clarity and focused? Have consistency. What is your clarity? I know so many times in business we think about in a family with my wife and I about different things and different options we can, or different, avenues we can help people out with. And then we sometimes lose clarity about what the whole main goal is. Rather than focusing on 1 or 2 good things that we can do now, we have a massive brainstorming session. There's 15 things all over the walls around the place. The poor kids look at these boring things on the wall for them, and you think, what have we done so far? We've got all these ideas on paper and we've dabbled in a few of them, but what's the clarity and what's the focus? So the goal is here, don't be egotistical. Think about what you can do consistently now that has clarity and focus to get you to your end goal. Now, if you're focusing on money and you're focusing on all those rewards that come from that, you're probably not going to get very far. If you focus on the process, the fun, the enjoyment, the ups and downs of what you actually do and serving people, the money and the outcome will come. All right. Now, people who are really good leaders in this area, because when they use language and they use dialogue with people, they use words such as we, us, our, words like that. They don't say I, my company, I want this, I want you guys to do this. All right. It's always about our family or our organisation or our company, and they stand for certain things and they have that buy-in, knowing that their employees or their family members, whatever it may be, they become one. When you have that unity, that clarity and focus, and you lose that egotistical nature and work with consistency, there's going to be massive outcomes, and massive outcomes fast that will grow momentum. So thirdly, what is your why? What is your safety? Is your safety getting in the way of what you actually want to do to progress in life? Is it frustrating you? We talked about this before, where the research is now saying that 80% of people are in jobs they don't like. So if you're a worker out there, or even if you're a head of a company, there's a big chance that you're not enjoying your day-to-day life and you're stuck in that rut because maybe you don't have clarity, maybe you don't have focus, maybe you don't have the confidence or skills to move forward, or the courage to move forward to actually pursue your passion. And that is your purpose, and that's what does give you leadership. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you being the best version of you right now and not sharing your gifts? And I think I'd like to challenge your mindset a little bit here. Try and challenge this with yourself. What is your skill set right now? If I ask you right now, what is your skill set? What's your main thing that you're good at? And if I ask 5 of your closest friends or 2 of your closest friends, they would say, man, your skill set is this. if you had a nice little intimate circle and they were open, what is your skill set? What would they say? And is that skill set of yours your passion? And if it is, are you doing all that you can do and want to do in that area? Now, look, I think teaching is awesome. I love teaching. I love working with kids and working with families and staff members and, trying to develop new ideas that will work, especially in the age where it's really hard to relate to teens and fighting against technology and neural pathways and kids being fired up and lessons can sometimes be boring. I love that. I love that environment with 12 weeks holiday too. It's fantastic. But is it stunting people? Is the teaching profession actually stunting growth where people have a lot of other skills they got to offer? Or are there teachers out there who actually just love their day in, day out job and do it because they're happy in that space and that's fine, it's great? Or are there teachers there because they're there for the holidays? Are they there for the right reason? What about your career? What about your job prospects? What about your passion if it's not a job? Are you pursuing it? What's stopping you from being the best version of you in those things? And there was a guy today, a staff member out there, if he's listening to this, he'll know who he is, but spoke very courageously today on our assembly for our Anzac ceremony. Used to be in the Navy, and I love these 3 words he used that the Anzac stood for, and I think we can all do this in our personal lives and our work career lives if we're doing that. Courage, compassion, resilience. Courage, compassion, resilience. How are you faring on those 3 things? If I said give yourself a rating of 10 for those things with your family or your friendship group or your work life, what would you say? How do we build courage? We keep moving forward. We move forward, we learn, we have courage to keep going forward with our purpose. What about compassion? Do we have empathy? Do we put ourselves in other people's shoes to know how they're feeling? Can we have compassion for other people? Because that's probably the basis of relationships. If you can have compassion / empathy with active listening, that's the 2 biggest soft skills you can have now. Again, that's my perspective. And what about resilience? How do you bounce back? Is your purpose, is your why so big that, you're going to have bad days and think, why am I doing this? Is it best me going back to my safety zone and doing the things I've been doing and maybe not so happy with? Or, no, my purpose and passion is fine. I knew these days were going to happen. Let's keep going forward, even though today's a crap day, I'm going to just write it off. Or read 10 minutes of a leadership book or go meet a friend and try and distract yourself and say, yep, I'm just going to write this off as a bad day and bounce back, because courage, compassion, resilience, I love those 3 words. I think it's a game changer. So what's it for you? Episode 4, Season 4, are you working with people being the guide? Number 2, are you being determined with clarity and focus with consistency? Using the words we, us, our. What is your why? Is it your safety at the moment? What's stopping you being the best version of you? Here's your challenge for your journal. Please have a crack at doing this. Anytime we write things down, chances are they come real. Goals are the same. Jot these things down. Here's your challenge. Number 1, who are you leading and what is the relationship or significance of that relationship? So who are you leading? If you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not a boss, that's not me. No. Who are you influencing right now as a leader? It could be a family member. It doesn't mean you have to be the father or the mother. Who are you leading? Who have your influence on that's got, I suppose, good behaviours that you're trying to actually instill in other people? What's the significance? Number 2, what are your negatives? Let's get the elephant out of the room here. What are your negatives? And then list ways to change this. All right? One of my biggest ones I know at work was have to get some stuff done before class starts, or my first lesson. And I never used to give people undivided attention. So they'd come in, and as I talk, I'd be on the laptop checking out notices or whatever. And they'd come in and they'd keep talking like, oh, yeah. And I'd look up every now and then and keep doing my emails, whatever it was. Rude, poor behaviour, crap behaviour. All right, you look back at now, it's basically telling the other person they're not as important as whatever I'm working on. So now to go, no, that's it, dip the laptop, sit down, let's have a chat. And you know what? It's going to cost me 3 to 5 minutes. What's the benefits? Closer relationship. Get to actually actively listen to somebody else. They might need me at that time. They might help me out with something or they're talking about. Show some interest. It costs 3 to 5 minutes for that behaviour to change. Undivided attention was mine. All right, still working on it. But what's a negative that you have right now that you could change? Have a think about it. 5 seconds right now. What is your biggest negative you might have in a relationship? Now, what's a way you can now actively change that? Even that might be frustrating for you at the start. What's a way you can change that behaviour to actually make that a positive? And the third challenge for your diary, what is one action you can actually do now? From that list of ways that you can change those negatives of yours, what is one action you can do right now? Because once you do that and have movement in that direction, it will start momentum. Momentum will then change your mindset to be positive, and that positive mindset will improve your progress in whatever it is that you're actually going to try and have that clarity and focus in. All right? What is the one action you actually do now, and don't put it off? Don't procrastinate. I'm going to do it. Do the thing that James said. He said in his book, Atomic Habits. He says, sandwich it. So I'm going to have a drink of water. Then after a drink of water, I'm going to do 10 push-ups. And after that, I'm going to reward myself by watching a bit of telly. All right. So James Clear said that's how you can habit stack. Right now, if you can't do that action because you procrastinate, habit stack it. What are you going to do right now? All right. I'm going to get up tomorrow. I'm going to have a coffee. And it's going to be an awesome coffee, by the way. And then I'm going to walk the dogs and run and get outside for 20 minutes in nature. Then I'm going to come back and have a yummy brekkie as well. I know why mine revolved around food, but there's an example. All right. What's one thing you can have stack? What's one action right now that's going to cause movement? Movement's going to give you momentum, going to improve your mindset, and then add progress towards your goal and that enjoy the one life that you have right here on this earth. You listen to GW Unspoken. I hope that makes sense. I really want to challenge you with your diaries out there. Please write in. Let me know how you go. I'd love to hear people writing back in now and asking to talk about certain things or different strategies. Again, this is my opinion, but look, I really hope you can challenge yourself and maybe reach out to other people who might be in a rut to really explore their talents, because the world needs your talents at the moment. Why wait? Because we only have this one life while on earth. Thank you for joining us for GW Unspoken, and look forward to hearing from you or tuning in our next episode.